Welcome back. My name is Mr. Rankin. We're going to discuss Chapter 3, the time value of money. The learning objectives per the book are to explain the mechanics of compounding, understand the power of time, calculate the present value. We're going to define an annuity, and I've added one. We're going to talk about how it can impact your financial life. We're not going to touch on all of these, but we're going to, in this short video, we're going to give you hopefully a quick overview of the chapter. So, to understand the time value of money, let's do a couple of questions. First of all, which would you rather have? $500 today, which is in financial terms called the present value, or $600 today? Well, I think most of us would rather have the $600 today. And the reason this comparison is very easy is because we've put both of our alternatives at the same time, today, the present value. Now, it gets a little tricky if we turn it around and say, which would you rather have, $500 today or $600 100 years from now, called the future value? Well, I think intuitively most of us can think, the $500, if I put it in the bank and it earns 1% interest over 100 years, it's going to be far more than $600. So I think most of us would choose this alternative, the $500 today. Now, if we take a third example, $500 today or $600 3 years from now, now we have to do some calculations to figure out either what this $500 is worth in the future or take this $600 and figure out what that's worth in the present. So let's take the $500 and let's talk about what's going to influence the value. Well, certainly the longer the time period, the more my money's going to grow, and the higher the interest rate, the more my money's going to grow. The last concept that the book assumes is compounded annually to keep it simple is the frequency of compounding, which we won't really go in here too much in this video, but you need to be aware of it. So let's do this. Our $500 today at 5% interest for 3 years. If we go to Appendix A of the book, which is one way of calculating it, page 579, we find the factor is 1.158 times 500 gives us our $579, what our $500 will be worth in 3 years. So now the evaluation becomes quite simple. Since $500 today will turn into $579 in 3 years, we can say, do you want 579 in 3 years or 600 in 3 years? Well, I want the 600 in 3 years. This is the same calculation at 8% interest. Went to the same table, got a different factor, but now it's 630. So now under this alternative, we would say, no, I want the $500 today because it'll grow to be 630 in the future. So, once you understand there's many options to calculate this stuff. You can use a calculator, you can use Excel, you can use the tables in the back of the book. My favorite way, and I majored in math so I understand this stuff, is to use a lot of the internet. Bankrate.com, dinkytown.com has some excellent tools. But the key is to remember is we have to put financial alternatives at the same point in time, either in the future value or in the present value, in order to make a compare the values. Quick review of the terms so you can use the calculators. Present value is the value of money today. Future value, the value in some future date. The interest rate is the rate of return we're earning. Compounding is interest on interest. Frequency of compounding is how often it's paid. And an annuity is a series of equal payments. So, to me, the most important question, though, is how are you going to use the time value of money in your life? It can work for you by saving small amounts of money at a young age and potentially being a millionaire, or it can work against you by being in debt. Remember we said credit card debts, paying the minimum would take 28 years to pay off? So that's the key decision for you. Hope this has helped. It's Mr. Rankin. There's my email. Have a good week.